wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke?
Yeah.
Who wants to smoke?
Yeah.
Temperatures going up, the heat is rising, scholars showing up, audience vibing. We on a mission, competition is the only desire. Whose information will be facing the mercy of fire? So step up, stand up, can you walk through hell? So tough, too tough for the weak soft shell. Set the fire, fan the flame, smoke is rising in blooms, while the inexperienced today just does the choke on the fumes. Bring your science, bring the wisdom, even bring your religion. If you can't stand the heat, then please don't come in the HOK. It's just a session, learn a lesson, fight and overcome oppression. Who'll be the best debated by the time all the smoke clears? Who wants to smoke? Want the smoke. This environment is the toughest, so bring your best and put your spirit to the test. You stepping into the ring with the scholar, with the no digits harder. I will make you holler, and the information flow with power. You wanted to peak, the elite, the undisputed. Now watch as your outdated theories get refuted. I'm posted in the den, let the world burn. Pressure in the room, it's finally my turn. They want the smoke, I'm the whole forest fire. Watch the oxygen vanish as the flames climb higher. My mind is the weapon, I'm no joke. I'm the baddest, I come for the smoke. No joke, I'm the baddest to ever breathe. I don't play house, I make them leave. Smoke session. Smoke, 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 smoke session. I want the smoke. Smoke, smoke, smoke session. sa.neter, you better want 'em. Who want the smoke? Who wanna say that I'm not playing? Oh my God, sa.neter, stop playing with me. Now Paul, you better tell him, now Paul. Stop playing with me.
Yeah. Y'all already know what it is. Get ready. Got some fire coming for y'all. Some real powerful history coming for y'all. Be ready. We got some real powerful new content coming. Got a powerful brother, Jamel Saladin, is here. And y'all already see what the title is, man. We getting ready to get into it. The paradox of 1492. The miss is we getting ready to go all the way in right now.
That's the fact.
You know what I'm saying? So the Mis-Identification of the Moorish Americans. And so without any further ado, brother, what's happening with you, man? How you?
I'm good, bro. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. I appreciate the opportunity, man. Yeah.
No doubt, man. All right, so I'm gonna just fall back and pass you the mic and let you get it in right now.
All right. That's cool, man. First of all, respect to the House of Consciousness. You understand? When I come into a new house, I got to show respect not only to the patriarch, but to the family members over here. So that's first and foremost, because I will be saying some things that more than likely will offend some people. You understand? What led me down this road? I want to first start, and it's not a shameful plug for plugging the man's book, but I call him the master teacher, Kaba Kamin. I got this book because it said, who were the Moors before the Moors? That's why I got this book. And I said, all right, cool. This is gonna answer some questions for me. And I got to one part of the book where there was a name I never heard before. The guy's name was Sunni Ali. I said, who's that? I do believe I'm a tad autistic, so I have to look up things. It takes me a long time to read, but I can't even read Cornel West's books because I have to look up everything he says. So I start to look up Sunni Ali. And I find out he dies in 1492. And it was like pulling a string from a thread. The thread just didn't stop going. I found some other things out there we're going to go over today. But before we go into those things, I just want to kind of give some clarity. I'm not doing this to piss anybody off. This show will piss some people off. But I just want to say that ahead of time. And not that it may matter to you, because there's some people who will have cognitive dissonance and they're not going to want to hear what I'm saying. But I'm not here to be famous or just use up the man's channel for no reason. I'm here hoping to make a difference in somebody's life, that we can use this information to change some things around. I'll go loosely off my notes here. The purpose of the paradox 1492. My purpose for presenting the paradox of 1492 is to force a shift in how we view the transatlantic slave trade. Yes, I forgot about that. COVID was a weird time, but it was a good time because it got to expose everybody and their thoughts and who's thinking what. Now, I'm from New York, Mount Vernon, New York, shout it out. Right next to the Bronx. So it's not like we upstate. Knock it off. You understand? 2 train is my train, 5 train is my train. I'm dealing with the same cultures that everybody else is dealing with. I've heard a lot of different cultures over the years, but you don't get a chance to see how many people really believe in these ideologies. So if you run across some people who say, nah, we was already here, brother. This is our land. This is man. We was already here. You say, all right, that's one point of view. I ain't about to get into no argument over that. But then you may click on somebody's show. He got a full 20,000 people in the live, like cheering him on, like, oh snap, okay, they all believe that right there, right? So then it becomes a thing of, all right, so do anybody believe in the transatlantic slave trade? So some things got disrespectful, in my opinion. And I felt like, okay, now you got to step up your game, Jamel. What do you do now? They're speaking for them. Now, how do you speak for your ancestors? And again, appreciate a show like the House of Consciousness, because it allows people to come intellectually and kick their knowledge. And guess what? If somebody got some better knowledge than you, then, it's going to be what it's going to be. So my desire is to move away from, first of all, we're going to view 1492, but being a Black American, I see a lot of people, they only want to blame European white supremacists for the condition here, how we're treated. And I think we're totally overlooking the Asian imperialist. And as we look at 1492, we'll be forced to look at his part, his role. What role did he play in this? Is he innocent? And we'll get to if we are who's the original man, the Asiatic Black man. We'll get to that. We'll get to that today. Obviously, I don't agree with that, but why? That's what we're going to go over today. So I say, furthermore, I will prove the education given to the Black American, teaching them to see themselves as Asian, was fabricated lie and a deliberate trick. And as we get to the end of my presentation, you'll see why I say that. It was designed to make us ignore our true bloodlines by adopting Asian titles like Bay, L, effectively anchoring us to identify with the very imperialists who sought to overwrite our nation. And that part is true. So let's get busy. A timeline of what I'll be talking about. These are just some of the things that happened in 1492. Some of these things we're going to go into greater detail than others. One, the death of Sunni Ali. We'll go over who Sunni Ali was, the Sunni Ali Burr. He died in 1492. Some type of freak accident. Allegedly, he drowned. We'll get into it. You could tell me if you think it was a setup or whatever the case may be. What also happened in 1492? There was a Congolese a king from the Congo. He became a Christian in 1492. We'll get into that. He converts to Christianity. Okay, cool. What else happens in 1492? Muhammad the 12th. I never even heard of him. So now that I'm doing some studying, there's two people so far I have never even heard of. Sunni Ali, who was a West African from the Sangay Empire. We'll get into it. And this Muhammad the 12th, who was the last standing Moor. We've heard for years that, the Moors ran Europe for 800 years. That narrative kind of changed over the years and then morphed into, the black people was running Europe for 800 years. We'll get into that today. Was the black people doing that? Well, you'll decide. However, the Moors was running Spain for about 800 years. And the last Moor to hold that position was Muhammad the 12th until he surrendered. And that he surrendered in 1492. And he packed up his things and he left for Morocco, Fez. And he lived out his days there. When Sunni Ali died, and we're going to go over all of this, I just want to give you a timeline of some of the things we're going to talk about. When Sunni Ali dies, his son tries to take over, right? So he's the king of the Sangay Empire. His son tries to take over, but there's a tradition where if he's challenged, he has to, kind of like what you see in Wakanda, you got to step up to the challenge. He is challenged by Sunni Ali's own commander, who thinks he could do a better job. And he beats his son, and he takes over the Sangay Empire. However, this guy is a Islamic zealot, and in my opinion, but I'll present my evidence to you. In my opinion, this also helped usher in what we knew as the transatlantic slave trade. Even it just strengthened it. It was already going to go down, to tell you the truth, because of some things that had nothing to do with these people alone. It was a joint effort. Even the Africans, they played their role, and we'll look at all of those things. So I'm telling you about the end. I'm telling you about 1492, what I consider to be the end. However, if we're going to have this conversation, we must go. We must start way earlier. So 1492 was the year that signified the end, but 641 AD was the beginning of the end, in my opinion. That's where we'll start today. The moment the invaders found their can opener, a strategic vulnerability into West Africa. Arab Muslims, fresh from conquering Egypt, turned their gaze southward towards the Nile Valley, targeting the heartland of black people, Mercuria and Nubia. But they found out it wasn't as easy to do. Now, we're going to read some interesting things, some things that I haven't, nobody really taught. And I don't expect them to, definitely not to teach our children. The vision I had of Africans before I read some of these books that I will tell you where I got my sources from in a second. The visions it was completely different. Whatever they told me or showed me about Africa, what the historians brought back and said, nah, bro, Africa's not like this. Africa's like this. And it was like this. We had this. I was in total amazement. So the first assault, 642 AD. The Arab invaders marched into Nubia expecting an easy victory. However, they met the elite Nubian military, famed as the eye smiters for their deadly archers, right? So these boys was bad like that, right? And again, they called them the eye smiters because they had the ability to actually like shoot your eyes out from long distance. They was that bad. The Africans used a strategy called pretend fright. So they would get out there, let the enemy see them, and then they would all rush, like run back like they was scared, right? But this was only to draw the enemy in. So they let the enemy chase them in. And when they did this the first time, the Muslims lost over 100,000 soldiers, right? I think we will get into this in one of my slides. At this time, the Africans had converted to Christianity in the 6th century, aligning themselves culturally and religiously with the Byzantine Empire and the Coptic Church of Alexandria. That was the first time. Then the second defeat, 8 years later. So Egypt goes back. The Arabs will go back. They devise a plan. They know what happened before. So now they are well aware of this fright technique. And they're like, yo, we're not going to even fall for that again. And you would think that the Africans wasn't going to use it again. But actually, they actually did use the same thing. It didn't work out the same. However, the Nubians didn't lose, right? So it was just a more balanced fight. So you didn't really kind of know who was about to win. So after 8 years, a massive Arab force returned with a siege engine to besiege Dongolia. Despite bombarding the city and destroying the cathedral, the Nubians' defense was so fierce that the Arab commander recognized conquest by force was a suicide mission. Cool. So we had a stalemate. What do we do now? All right. That's a good question. And now I'm about to tell you, and you're going to realize why we started here, because this is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life. And yet, I've never heard of this treaty in my life. It's called the BACT Treaty. BAQT. The BACT Treaty. So, amazing. What the Arab Muslims did, Arab/Egyptian Muslims, whole lot going on there, but we'll get to that in a second. What they did was say, yo, how about we don't use force, right? There's another way to do this. We may catch more flies with honey. Unable to conquer by the sword, the invaders shifted to diplomacy. They came up with this treaty, this geopolitical treaty that lasted over 600 years. And when I told my daughter about this, her face screwed up. I told her about the treaty. She said, how'd the treaty go, Daddy? I said, all right, so the Nubians had to pay 360 slaves every year. Let me see if I have everything else. No, I don't have everything else yet. We'll get to that. They had to pay 360 slaves. They had to pay gold. They had to pay ivory. There's a certain amount they had to pay every year. So you're like, okay, well, what did the other people have to give in exchange? The other people gave wine, wheat, simple things. So I said, oh, this was the start of it right there. That was the that's the real beginning of the end right there. You mean to tell me we gave Nubians, and you find out why by the end of the show why I am classifying myself as a Nubian. We gave these people, our men and women and children, and especially the women, so they could do what they want with them in exchange for wine? What kind of derelict trade was this? It was all downhill from there, sadly to say. I don't know who was negotiating these terms, but I do. And we'll get into that later. Now, we'll come back to that. And I just wanted to pay my elders and the ancestors some respect at this part of the show. There was a time, and I didn't have to be in the street. Somebody told me the other day, yo, we had to do what we had to do. And I had to correct them. I said, we didn't have to do what we had to do. We made a choice. You understand? I made a choice to pick up a gun and stick it in people's faces, and you made the choice to sell crack. That is not doing what we have to do. Let's stop it. He said, yeah, you're right. I said, I know. Now, when I got to a point, I remember this point, this is why I'm sharing it with you, where my house got robbed and my mother had just came, right? And I know what they was looking for when they got there. But they didn't find that, but they did find something. They found a couple of things and they took that. Fine. All right, cool. I took it as an omen, like, yo, you got to chill, bro. I was in the flooring union downtown, Carpenter Street. But my back was jacked up. I had jacked it up starting roofing at 13. So my sciatic nerve been jacked up since a little kid. So now I'm getting out the game. I can't do this anymore. I don't even have the power to do it. And I'm walking across a bridge in Mount Vernon and I'm trying to figure life out. And I start crying. And I say, yo, what you gonna do, bro? And I say, you gotta go back to school. Now, needless to say, I do go back to school, but when I get there, I am rough around the edges, way rough around the edges, right? I'm treating everything. I don't know how to treat anything except the way I'm treating it. So everybody that I have a conversation with is very rough. It's very aggressive. By the end of that 4 years, I toned it down and they brought me in the office and said, bro, we didn't know if you was going to make it or not. But I knew I was going to make it this time because I was 28 years old, the exact age of when I left the first time and said, I can't do this. When I came back at 28, I said, I got to do this because I don't know other way. There was a guy named Robert Tate. He was the black professor at the college I went to, college in New Rochelle. And the first person he makes me read and introduces me to is Carter G. Woodson. And I'm flabbergasted because I don't know who this guy is. He's like, you don't know Carter G. Well, why would I know that? And some call him the father of Black history. The second person he puts me onto is John Henrik Clark. And I had to give some respect to them because I think, I got into the others after them. And shout out to all the ancestors and everyone who paved the way. And there's too many names for us to start going. But these were the first two that he put me on to. And Chancellor Williams was the first book that I brought. I heard about a lot of different books while in the barbershop, but Chancellor Williams was the first book that I actually went and brought. And then I was just blown away of what he was saying. So the sources that I'm getting my information from today, needless to say, I already showed you one of the books, Who Were the Moors Before the Moors, and I told you why and how I ended up getting that book there. The second book we're going to read from is, not really read from, The Destruction of Black Civilization. I do encourage anyone and everyone to go get this book here. I don't know if he knew what he was doing when he wrote the book, and it maybe seemed like it wasn't getting no traction at the time, but it is a framework that everyone really needs to get placed in the household and expose your children and grandchildren to, because this is the history. The second book, this is wild. And doing my research, there was a book I stumbled across. I've never heard of this book in my life. And why would I? Because it was written in Arabic. It is called Tariq al-Sudan. Tariq al-Sudan. Yes, it is accompanied by another book called Tariq al-Fatash. Again, why would I know this book if it was written in Arabic and it wasn't translated until 100 years later? And when it was translated, it wasn't translated in English. It was translated in French. So if you do look, and I'll tell you where I got my my translations. I got them from the Internet Archive. If you are interested in at first I didn't know they had an English translation, so I was doing it. I was going to the book in Arabic, taking it, putting it in Google, and asking it to translate page by page. It was meticulous and ridiculous. 300, almost 400 pages. What are we doing here? Then I find out they have an English version, so you can go and check that. The other information that I'll be sharing with you today, I got from a book from someone who spoke to and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, and don't kill me if I'm not, people in Africa. Someone who is pronounced a griot. And the griot, and it could be heard now too, but their job is to retell history orally, verbally. That's their job. That is the culture. All of these things I found out. And as I'm finding out all of these things, they're helping me to understand. Hence why I had to bring this information to the House of Consciousness. So, last thing I want to say, I got 3 commercials. This is my first one, and then we're going to move on after this commercial. I did a new funk and jazz album. If you like funk, if you like jazz, I got 25 joints on here. You're going to love it. Go over there, stream it. If you feel like supporting, it's $9 for the 25 songs. All right. So there we go. It's called Funk and Love by Jamel Saladin. There you go. Now, let's get busy. Now, before I even start, I want to get some terms out the way, because I've sat back and I've listened for a long time. I mean, decades. And I just listen to people spew their rhetoric, how they're going to arm wrestle themselves out of this one right here. I said, we're not doing that. We're not doing none of that. Right? You're not going to use verbal gymnastics to, do you even know what more means, brother? More means. We're not doing none of that. Right? So I said, okay, let's establish some key terms from off the jump street so that we don't have to play merry-go-round and where are they hiding the sausage? We don't got to do none of that. Let's start with ethnicity. I'm going to give you the terms, and all of this you're going to appreciate when I start cooking. First term we're going to deal with is ethnicity, the blood, who you are. Ethnicity is your ancestry. It's the biological line that connects you to your parents, your grandparents, and the thousands of people who came before them. It's within your DNA. It doesn't matter what country you live in or what language you speak. This is how we get rid of the nonsense off the jump street. Your ethnicity is the permanent foundation of your existence. It's the truth of the soil you come from. Good. Now, let's get to culture. Culture is your practice. It's the way you speak, the music you create, the way you honor your elders, and the laws your community agrees to live by. Culture is learned. It's the vibe and the values of your people. You can take an ethnic group and move them across the ocean, and they will try to hold on to their culture because culture is the bridge between the individual and the ancestors. But sometimes they adopt a new culture, even though they have the same blood. So they got different blood from the place that they just moved to, but they adopt a culture. And then we get to nationality, the paper, who you belong to. Nationality is a legal status. It is a contract between you and the state. It's the name on the map, the passport in your pocket, and the flag you fly. Unlike ethnicity, nationality can change overnight. Bah! A border moves, a war is won, or a treaty is signed, and suddenly your nationality is different, just like that. Even though your blood and your culture haven't changed one bit. Sorry. I'm defining terms to avoid erasure of the loser history from the obvious occupation. When you don't separate these terms, the victor, the one who wrote and sponsored the history pages or enforced the law, gets to claim the victim as part of their own lineage. I watched Josephus do that. I watched the Romans do this with the alleged Josephus. If you don't know about Josephus, I do believe he fought for the Hasmoneans. I'm going to avoid saying certain words because I don't want to trigger the algorithm, right? So you can kind of get who I might be talking about, but I'm going to be friendly over here because this is not my channel and I don't want to cause mess. However, he was part of a group called the Sicarii. If you don't know the Sicarii were the assassins of this group here, the Hasmoneans, right? So he was the leader of the Sicarii. Nonetheless, he gets surrounded by Romans and they kill his whole brigade. And for some reason, they keep Josephus alive. Now, whenever we talk about Josephus today, what do we say? Do we say, oh, the general Josephus? No. Everyone knows Josephus as a historian. So they say, no. He was a historian. What? He was a historian for who? He was a historian for the people who brought him, spared his life. They actually put him in a house of luxury, right? They sweetened up his deal. So when people tell me, well, even Josephus said, I say, yo, first of all, check this out. Not for nothing. He's already compromised. I can't trust the word this dude says. He was supposed to go out with some glory, take the knife to the stomach or something. He was never supposed to sit here and write for the very people he was going to kill. What are we doing here? Right? So we define the terms because this has happened. And as you will see, some understanding is going to be needed of those same terms that we mentioned earlier. I will show you that a Moorish government was imposed on the Songhai people. The people didn't become Moors. They were governed by the Moorish system. And if I don't define the terms, you might think that the ancestors evolved into the victors rather than being colonized or suppressed by them. And this I see this a lot in the United States, and we'll get there. I don't want to get there too fast, right? But what I'm talking about, because if it sounds like I'm talking in parables, what I'm talking about is Noble Drew Ali telling people, giving them a history, attaching it to something where he's like, yo, this could benefit us if we attach ourselves this way. And who's going to proclaim that that is not us? We was there, bro. This is our right. Let me tell you something. You know, the only thing worse than a lie, I discovered this. Give me a lie any day. Give me a lie. Or give me the truth. But what has been one of the worst things, especially for scholars and intellectual people on this planet, the worst thing is the truth mixed with a lie. Oh my God. Now I have to go in and I have to remove this and remove that just to give it back to you. And then there's someone hoping that I hope he don't never get it. He about to mess everything up for everybody. We about to be good. And let me tell you something. If it ain't worked by now, it's not going to work, right? So at this point, maybe they didn't fall for it. And it's just getting worse and worse. It's getting out of hand. Riding around with paper plates on your car. I kid and I joke, but this has gotten some people killed because of the rhetoric. And my Moorish brothers come to me and they say, yo, Jamel, but that's not what we teach. Fine and dandy. But just like the Bloods that didn't do anything when these people was coming out of jail and slashing people on the train, I'm going to tell you like I tell them, bro, you got to fix it. You can't, you don't get to say, oh, but that's just people with bad teaching. All right, so where's the proof that y'all fixing anything, though? I don't see you out here trying to fix this situation, and it's gotten way out of hand, right? So, but we'll get there. We got time. So, what I got here, I don't want to move over anything. I said history is written by the victors, and as you will soon see, those victors that invaded West Africa worked overtime to label the indigenous people who were not down with the program anti-Islamic or pagan. And sadly, this was true, right? So I mentioned some of this earlier. You cannot heal a false culture by adopting a false ethnicity. And I've seen this play out. I've seen this is what has been attempted to be done since 1913. Noble Drew Ali, I appreciate his effort, but if you really wanted to help us, you would give us the true knowledge. Now, maybe he didn't have the true knowledge, and I considered that. But guess what? This is the year 2026 of your Lord. I think we could have recognized that, and we could have said, all right, this is what happened, brothers. Somebody got to step up and tell the truth. Everyone can't be cowardice and be like, yo, just sweep it under the rug. That ain't going to work forever. And at the same time, my goal is not to piss you off. So now that me and you at odds, because the goal is to educate our people with the true knowledge so that we could get out of our situation. And that's going to take work. Let me say this one last thing because we about to get into the true knowledge. I'm going to say this one last thing. There is a scripture in the Bible. And me and you don't have the same religion because I don't have religion. However, I would never throw the baby out with the bathwater. My favorite book in the Bible is Genesis, which is the first book in the Bible. Chapter 11. So, that's 3 ones right there. 1, first book. Add 11 after that. That's 3 ones. The first verse in that chapter speaks about the people being one and having one language. Now, when you go on to read the rest of this chapter, it goes on to tell you that because the people were of one mind, there was nothing that even the gods could do with them. The gods was nervous. He said, yo, now because they are of one mind, anything that they choose to do and put their mind to, they could get it done. So what did they do? You would have thought that they said, and so let's just kill them, drown them, and burn them with fire. No, they didn't do none of that. And it's kind of sad how simple the tactic was that they did. All they did was confuse our tongue. That's what the books say. That's what the text say. It says, let us go down and confuse their tongue. And that was it. And we've been, that's all it takes is for us not to work together. So my goal today is not to actually piss you off, but I am down for any debate after this. But anyway, let's get into this. I have a master's degree in information systems, so I like to apply mathematics to some things. There's something called the Boolean. It's a Boolean is like, is it true or is it false? So false culture plus false ethnicity equals what? False culture plus false ethnicity equals total erasure. This is when you adopt both the lifestyle of the victor and you believe you belong to the victor's bloodline. Crazy talk. It is the ultimate goal, and it's called the pincer move. Complete detachment from ancestral soil, living in a fabricated reality, and fighting to defend the very people who erased you. Oh, we're going to look at some things today. It is complete installation of the mask. Now, what happens when you give true culture and true identity? This equals sovereignty, the real sovereignty. I hear the Moors speak about sovereignty a lot. We'll get to it. You can't, we'll get to it. Your biological bloodline aligns you perfectly with the lifestyle, laws, and spiritual practices of your actual ancestors. They're supposed to. But like biological lab rats, that's how they treat us. They play all type of games, behavioral engineering, psyops. Until we don't know whose blood runs through our veins. I know whose blood runs through my vein, and I'm actually going to show you by the end of this presentation. This is why I told you for 100% I am Nubian. I will show you this. This is the before 1492 state, a nation without friction or confusion, where no contract is required to prove who you are. The VIN number matches the registration. What happens when you get false ethnicity and true culture? This equals the cultural hijack. You are living out a powerful ancient culture, but assigning it to a bloodline that isn't yours. Wow. That I see this all the time. And I'm pretty empathetic usually. And I find out the answer is not to get online and start beefing with people in the comment section. The answer was to go sit down, study, bring it back to the table, and see who will. The scriptures say, he who have ears, let him hear. Everybody's not going to hear, right? But I understand the yearning for self-identity. And the first person that's able to articulate and sound good, and it says, hey, brothers, we actually we actually Moors. They don't understand what that means. They say, yeah, that's no, we was here first. We are actually the indigenous people of North America. Oh, we the Paleo-Siberians? Yeah, this is your land. They had stones here, brother. Is that simple? I don't think it is, but this is false ethnicity, but true culture. This is the Asiatic education trick where Black Americans attribute spiritual discipline and imperial organization to Asia. Shout out to my Bay and my L brothers. Instead of their West African DNA. The culture is beautiful, but the bloodline destination is a lie. And I don't want anyone to take, as I'm going through this, I don't want you to think that it got to be one or the other. Like you got to hate now, you got to hate. No, you don't got to hate nobody. That's not what I'm preaching, right? So whatever I say today and whatever I teach you and whatever I show you, it's not for you to start running around hating Arabs at all. I'm doing this so you can have a understanding. I let them talk for years and I didn't say nothing. And then Chancellor Williams died. You understand? And then rap music took over and nobody cared about what the elders talk about. So who will speak for them now that they're in the grave? They did the work. Now we just need some courageous young people like myself to get out here and say what is unpopular, because everything I'm about to say is going to be unpopular. True ethnicity plus false culture. This is when you possess your ancestral bloodline, but your daily practice, your language, and legal status belong entirely to European or Asian imperial structures. The blood is 100% sovereign, but the program running on the software is foreign. You have the ancestral royal lineage, but you are living under a contract that calls you a commodity. Every last one of you was a commodity to the Europeans. I'm talking to my Nubians right now. To the Europeans and to the nomadic Arabs who became Muslim at some point. Let's go way back. Let's go back into time, way back. The root cause of amalgamation. The expansion of the Sahara Desert is not just an environmental process, but a profound historical force. Chancellor Williams vividly describes this relentless spread of the desert, a phenomenon now known as desertification. Well, I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't know the desert could grow. And long-term climate change in North Africa and the Sahel. This environmental shift fundamentally altered human societies. So apparently, thousands of years ago, there was a green Sahara. What is now the Sahara was vibrant. It was fertile land during African humid period. It boasted. They had lakes, they had flowing rivers, lush green grasslands teeming with wildlife, cattle herding, communities thriving across the landscape. Ancient rock art found in these now arid regions beautifully depict giraffes, cattle, hippos, and people living in the areas that are currently parched. But between 3000 BC and 2000 BC, the climate patterns dramatically shifted. The weakening rains led to progressive dying lakes, dried up vegetation, and at this point, fight or flight. You understand? Doing what the humans do, you fight to survive. People started to migrate towards more dependable water sources, such as the Nile River. So we'll think about this methodically and logically. why this happened. And the science backs this, by the way. This intense environmental pressure had far-reaching consequences, influencing mass migrations and the establishment of new trade routes, agriculture practices, and the formation of early states, patterns of warfare, and widespread population movement across Africa. Now, we just mentioned the Nile River. As this began to happen, guess who's in a beautiful place? Guess who's in the most beautiful place they could be as all this is happening? The Nubians. Oh my God, you couldn't ask to be in a better place, right? The Black Nubians who controlled Egypt possessed a wealth of natural resources and human capital that was highly coveted across the ancient world. Their lands were rich in what? Their lands were rich in gold. Their lands were rich in diamonds, ivory, copper, and ore. Unfortunately, slaves. I hate to say that because it's unnecessary, because it's not a mineral that I think that we can use anywhere. But Africans, maybe the Nubians, they seen things a different way. However, they also had water, fresh water. That Nile River overflowed. They didn't have one river. They had a few rivers that were really strong staples in their lifestyles and their culture that really helped them sustain. You had the Niger River. Now, I want us to picture something for a second, just in case you didn't pick up what I was laying down a second ago. I'm going to bring this part home for you. Geographically, Egypt functions as the literal throat of the African continent. Meaning this: if you don't have a boat and you're on foot, you're not getting in Africa. Anyway, except Egypt. That is the only way in to the heart of Africa, right? Outside of that, you need a boat. Now, I say you need a boat like it's a boat, like it was easy to get a boat at that time. Not maybe for kings and stuff like that, but for the average person, we don't know at what point a boat was just common. Secondly, some people at a certain point in time thought the earth was flat. And you had a lot of people that was scared of traveling too far of a distance because they thought they would fall off the earth. And then another thing was all these myths about monsters and the water boiling, and they didn't really understand what was going on. However, let's just stay with the logical thought that you can't get it. You was not getting into Africa, the heart of Africa, unless you went through Egypt and the Sinai Peninsula, which is Egypt. So Egypt functions as the literal throat of the African continent. If one intended to enter or leave Africa on foot from any part of the Eastern Hemisphere, be it Europe, Arabia, Persia, India, or China, there was precisely one gateway, Egypt. This unique land bridge connect the vast African landmass to the rest of the world. Because Egypt serves as this narrow physical bottleneck, whoever controlled Egypt effectively held the access key to the entire continent. The fall of Egypt to a foreign power rendered the land route into the heart of Africa wide open, facilitating invasions, trade, cultural exchange on an unparalleled scale. Now, Now it's starting to make sense. Now we know why everybody was trying to control Egypt. What they never tell us are the Nubian dynasties that controlled Egypt before they tell us about all the other ethnicities, the Hyksos, which I believe to also be the Hyberu, and who would also be considered the Hebrew. I have my own theory on that, and this is not the show for that. But you can come over to my channel, hit the subscribe button. My channel is Society, Past, Present, and Future, and I talk about a lot of this stuff in great detail over there. But the point is this, you kind of see now, I think I painted the picture why Egypt was so resourceful. However, given everything that I said, remember we spoke about the weather changes and people migrating? Well, there were a lot of people who migrate. If they couldn't get to the actual area, you know what they did? They set up posts and trading posts around the area. Right? They made do. So if they can't get into Egypt, if they can't get into Africa, they're going to get as close as possible. Let's talk about assimilation for a second. Chancellor Williams references the North African formula assimilation. And the rule is if you have mixed blood, mulatto, you are automatically classified with the ruling class as white Arab. I didn't know this. I thought he was actually, I'm gonna keep it real, I thought he was being a little bit pro-black and making things that I don't know. It was obviously it was my ignorance, right? Because I have never heard these things before. So I was going through my own cognitive dissonance. Shamefully, I started to hear other scholars speak of this, specifically some white scholars. And I had to curse myself out. And I said, well, look, now you believe because they said it. Why? Because they white? So I had to question my own integrity. Like, bro, why you couldn't believe the black man? He said, he told you this. And you thought he was being overly pro-black. This is a serious scholar right here. Why would he just put everything on the line to throw something out that reckless that would mess up his reputation? Furthermore, the man is dead and you ain't never heard no smut on his reputation. The strategic goal, to absorb the indigenous population's power. It amazes me how far people will go with a psyop and with intentions to take over. And I think it amazes me because I come from a culture that thinks more impulsive, right? I need my get back. I need my get back now. And I need to do it in a colorful way to just let everybody know. And this is why many of our warriors here in the United States of America, our black boys, our black sons, our black nephews, our fathers, this is why they locked us right back up after 1865 and put us right back in that jail legally. Because it was culture to show you, right? And they know these things, and this they play on these things. This is why the music industry made money off of us killing us. It was a wild thing. They just sit there and analyze our culture. Say, oh yeah, they impulsive. They got to get back right. They need to lick right now. They're not going to sit back and devise a plan on how they can really get back. They are just impulsively out here doing it. Okay. But these other people, they use something called strategy. Tactful. The strategy was to absorb the indigenous population's power. Now, remember what I told you about the back treaty. We're going to go back to that. If you think I'm just talking BS, I'm not done. That was just to get you. We about to go into that back treaty a little bit more. So the goal was to absorb the indigenous population's power by calling the mixed race descendants of West Africans white or Arab. The Asian imperialists could claim that the great civilizations of North Africa and Egypt were built by black people. They used the white mass to steal the achievements of the bloodline. It turned the victim descendants into the victor's ethnicity on paper. Now, I want to. There's a book, and I told you about this book. It's by John Hunwick. This is the translation of the Tariq al-Sudan. He did the English translation. And there's some notes here, and I just want to read them to you. It says the author uses terms like al-Sudan or Balad al-Sudan, land of black people. And that is what the area, especially the area that they stole our people from and started shipping them across the transatlantic. They came from somewhere called Balad al-Sudan, which is the land of the blacks. I don't know why I didn't hear this term before either. So why I never heard that term? You know what's crazy? The same people who we claim connection to, the Moors, these North African Berbers and Muslim Arabs, they were the ones who came up with this term. And it got me to thinking, why would they have a term? If we together, why would you have a term specifically for me? But we together. But you got a separate term for me? Wait, what'd you call us? Balad al-Sudan. That is the land of black. So we had an area. Yeah, you had an area, bro. What? So it says the author uses the term al-Sudan or Balad al-Sudan, land of the black people, for sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah, that's you. Couldn't have been the North Africans. They wasn't sub-Saharan. It was North Africa. Those are your Berbers. My ancestors, sub-Saharan, beneath the Saharan desert. Yeah, that's us. But more particularly, for the area of the Middle Niger, there's a period there. He also uses the term al-Sudan to mean the inhabitants of these regions. In this translation, the term Sudan refers to the land area and Sudan to the people. Arabic or Berber-speaking Saharans often refer to themselves by contrast as Baidan. You mean Sudan? No, my friend. You have it mistaken. I'm sorry, Biden. Wait, what? Say that again. Arab or Berber speaking Saharians often refer to themselves by contrast as Biden, whites. I said, I'm sorry, Mr. Chancellor Williams. I really thought you was what these kids say, you capping. Stop the cap. I like saying that around the kids because they crack up. They don't think I'm supposed to know that term. So you stop the cap, brothers. Knock it off. Yeah, I thought you was capping, Mr. Chancellor Williams. But other scholars are out here verifying, validating exactly what you said. As observed in the introduction, these categories are referents of cultural practices rather than their skin colors. The term al-Sugay, the Sangay folk, is used by al-Sadi to refer to the ruling elite. We'll get to who al-Sadi is and all those other things. I won't go too much into this. Again, I gave you the book. You can check it out yourself. Let me read my notes on the side real quick. Excuse me. The linguistic rebranding. Hunwick, that's John Hunwick, the author of the book. Hunwick notes that Arabic or Berber-speaking Saharians refer to themselves as Biden, which literally translates to white. The separation of class from skin color. Then Hunwick drops the critical line. These categories are referents of cultural practices rather than skin color. What I'm saying is it had nothing to do with, you can't go off the phenotype and black. Yeah, we was black. Obviously, we was black, brother. That's not how it worked. Respectfully, that's not how it worked. There was a whole system, a classification system that they had going on that is obviously not taught to us, because we should have been teaching it to our children, but maybe we didn't know. Like I said, this is exactly what Chancellor Williams was talking about regarding North Africa and the Middle East. A person's actual physical appearance or biological bloodline, their skin color, was overridden by their political or cultural classification. Oh, we about to get in. Now we about to cook. Huh? And we had a 2, beloved. We ain't even get nowhere yet. I just want to get I've been around these people for a while. They like to, like I said, word wrestle and try to connive their way out of a situation. No. We're going to have concrete terms for things. And you're going to get some understanding of how things actually work versus the way you want them to work, so that you could try to find some loophole in the American system and attach yourself to some treaty that would treat you more sovereign. Knock all of that off, bro. We're not doing none of that. And I can't allow it to happen because we've been at a critical time, but even more than now. But we should have been recovered from this with the situation we in. But we keep selling ourselves out, and I'm going to keep proving to you, you won't be the first person to sell us out or the last. Don't worry about it. If you spoke Arabic, followed the Islamic imperial laws, and belonged to the dominant nomadic or ruling groups, you were legally and socially classified as Biden, white, elite. How many people right now they'll rather, if they're going to be classified, they're going to be like, nah, bro, I'm going to be classified over here with these. You know what I'm saying? They trying to, I don't use terms like speaking proper English doesn't make you why you talking white? I think that's one of the most ignorant things I've probably heard on this planet. It just means you speak that language proper, which there's nothing wrong with that. The language wasn't intended for you to butcher all up in the first place. Any language you speak, I hope you speak it properly. That's just a level of distinguishment that you should want to your reputation to carry. However, there's different classes of all folk, but I ain't talking about all folk today. I'm talking about black folk. You got black folk here that's proud to be ignorant because it thinks they feel, hey, I'm a real one. Obviously, they're lost. They think the more ignorant they are, the more violent they are. It makes them a real one. Whatever. I just need you off the streets, bro. I ain't gonna kid you. You understand? I'm trying to raise my people civilly, and I'm trying to protect my women and children. I hear what you're saying, but I'm gonna need you off the streets ASAP. Yeah. Don't do none of that around me. I'm gonna get you right up out of here and let these people play basketball in the street without bullets flying. That's what we're doing. And then you got some people who don't want nothing to do with those people. And some people say, oh, he's trying to act white. Look at him. And I get what they're saying. You deny your own people. You haven't found a way to slap five with your people and say, what's up, young blood? Everything good? Yeah, all right, cool. And still go to a boardroom. And I'm speaking from experience. Now, I don't know who's just coming in the room. Hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel, House of Consciousness. Show some respect if you over here. You understand? Shout it out. But I shared a little bit of my story when I came on here a second ago, and I told you how I went from selling drugs, actually stick-up kid. I started as a stick-up kid. Then I started selling drugs because it was easy to do the type of stuff I had. It sold itself. Then the feds had came in, snatched people up, and I laid low. So my lifestyle changed. But as my lifestyle was changing, my back was acting up, so I couldn't do what I needed to do in the union. And it was a hard spot. Can't sell drugs. I can't. What am I about to do? I went back to school. Went back to school at 28. I got my bachelor's in 4 years. Didn't never think I could do 4 years in an institution. And I said, my counselor came to me, a Romanian lady. She said, well, what you going to do now? It was a rhetorical question. I only had one answer for her. So I said, I don't. And she didn't even let me finish. She said, you're going to the master's program. She's a Romanian lady. I love her to death. She said, you are going to the bachelor, the master's program. I said, the master's program? I'm not going. What? I said, do you see? I almost didn't. You are going to the master's program. I ain't going nowhere. Yeah, well, that summer, I ended up in the master's program for information systems. That kicked my behind. I cried literal tears getting that degree because I was failing. They was telling me you ain't gonna walk. I thought the money was gonna go to waste. I didn't understand code. I'm like, why did I do this? I just got married in 2012. I just had a baby in 2012. And I was in the master's program in 2012 with 2 jobs. One is a desktop administrator from 9 to 5. And from midnight to 8, I did security. So life was lifing. Let's just say that. I finished the program. Don't ask me how. I finished the program. Blood, sweat, and tears. That August, I'm getting phone calls from companies I never reached out to. I said, how do they even get my information? Is there a bulletin that goes out that lets you know, they let them know that you graduated? So all type of automation and AI firms was reaching out to me. This is 2014. I get hired down on State Street and Wall Street, right where that they meet, right by the Bull. Huge software firm. The CEO comes in every day dressed in a tuxedo, and he actually comes in every day. You see him. He's walking around tuxedo every day. Tuxedo every day. This is him on the yacht. We on the yacht. Every day. You understand? So I'm around. He's a billionaire, by the way. You heard me? So I know my first billionaire now. I'm telling you this, not to brag. I'm about to tell you the parts where I was an idiot. I go in there, and even though I did learn how to be a better person from the bachelor's program, I still got those ways about me, right? Because we're talking about people not knowing how to go back. It's called Sankofa in African in African culture, where you get somewhere but you go back, right? People don't know how to do that. They leave and they feel like they have to be. You're gonna say, "Oh, he acting like he white." Yeah, he might. I get what you're saying. But me, I carried some of that with me until I learned that hoodness with me. Until I learned you can't be doing this, bro. You have to figure out. There's a place and time, right? So I'm on projects now. I'm running projects. People disagree with me. I'm inviting them to fades in the bathroom. So my man is like, yo, you can't be doing that, bro. You can't. This ain't that, bro. You can't invite nobody to the bathroom for the fade. And as I look around, I realize I have a bigger obligation to my people and myself. I actually made it here, and I don't even know how I got here. Well, the things that we're going to look at is the reasons why I say all of that is because we're going to look at some very embarrassing moments in African history in a second. And some of these people sold out and they say, yo, I want to be the elite. So we're going to see Nubians adopt Islam, not because they truly believe in this religion or the God of this religion, as we will see, but it was more of a stepping stone, right? It was diplomatic in some cases, it was political in some cases, but it could get me what I wanted. But before we get there, because before Nubia was breached, they never had to do that in the first place. There was no reason for them to say, oh, I'm going to adopt. Let's just adopt Islam for no apparent reason at all. Oh, you believe it? Like they never had a God. Like they was running around in grass skirts and never heard of the concept of God or something like that. No. That's not what happened at all. As I explained, Egypt was the bottleneck to the Nile River, to the gold that was coming out of there, to the salt. They wanted that, beloved. And these people put pressure on that bottleneck, and they kept on hammering at Egypt until, everybody wanted a piece of Egypt. You understand? Greece and The Greeks had a part of Egypt. The Persians had a part of Egypt. The Assyrians had a part of Egypt. Everybody wanted this Egypt for reasons I have already explained. The land we now call Egypt actually was originally called Kim. As you guys know, you guys are from the House of Consciousness. I'm not telling you anything you don't know there. And its capitals, Menes, was called Haikuta. And I hope Brother Jabari doesn't kill me if I chop that all up. Shout out to Brother Jabari. He's one of my favorites up here. Mansion of the Soul of Ta. Haikuta. It was the Greeks who renamed Haikuta Aegyptos, a term later applied to the entire country. This historical renaming subtly erased the unmixed Black footprint from the narrative of the ancient civilization. So I put that note in there to show you we don't never learn that, right? This is all by design, I do believe. But we have to also understand how it is in America is the exact opposite over there. So over here, if a baby is born with a little bit of black in their blood, they are now Negro. That's just the way it is. So it is the whole concept of classification is entirely different, and that's why I had the cognitive dissonance. I was struggled with believing Chancellor Williams when he said, "No, it's different over there, bro. It's this." Remember, this is we in our own bubble in the United States, but the rest of the world, just turn that whole concept you got going on inside out. So now, if your black blood is mixed, you are now white. You are now something else. You are Arab. You are something else, but you are not a pure blood. So by the time we understand about this land, this phenomenal mystical land they call Africa, this name been changed all type of ways. It's been stripped of all type of Aboriginal indigenous identity. And this is, it cannot be by mistake from what I'm about to speak about.
Brother Saladin.
Yes, sir.
We got like another 35 minutes because I got another show around 8 o'clock.
45 minutes?
35 minutes. So what I'm saying to you is I think we should open up the panel and you can come back and do a part 2.
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you. If you don't want to open up the panel and have people come in and question you, I think that'll be it. That we should let the people up, open up the panel, let the people come on and ask you questions about the presentation.
Then give me 15 more minutes. Let me get busy.
You got it. Hey, right. And one more thing. You be with my cousin, right?
Yeah, I be with your cousin 10 toes.
Yeah, you be with my cousin 10 toes, right?
Yeah, that's a fact.
I be seeing you over there on the channel. Okay. Yeah. I was like, yo, that's my man right there. That be with my cousin. Okay, got it. Yeah. All right,
All right, cool. All right, so we're going to speed this up a little bit because they just told us about time and all of this, and I do get long-winded, so my bad. Because I do want some of you guys' questions, so we're going to be just 15 more minutes. When it's 15 minutes up, just let me know what's going on. All right, let's talk about the Arab Muslim failed attempts. Despite the failed attempts by the Egyptian Arab government forces to push Nubia south in 642, they tried first in 642. They came back 652 with a larger military force, 5,000 troops. However, it didn't work again, and we went over that the first time, right? Cool. Speed this up a little bit. All right. This is my second commercial. I told you I had some commercials. Now, I have a book for you guys that listen to Audible, because I listen to Audible as I drive. I have a book. It's called Rockefeller Medicine Men Wholesale Philanthropy. It's the only book over there like that. Wholesale Philanthropy, Section 1. I am dropping Part 2, but Section 1 deals with how Rockefeller changed the education system through philanthropy. So go check that out. All right. That's my second commercial. We got to keep on going for time's sake. Now, this is why I say, sa.neter, give me 15 more minutes, because without me getting to this back treaty, then it don't make sense to take things, because this starts to explain. I explained that the bottleneck was happening there. The back treaty spanned nearly 7 centuries from 652 AD, stands as one of the history's most brilliant and deceptive and enduring legal instruments. So unable to conquer the Christian Nubia military, Arab Muslim forces employed this contract to establish profound economic and political hold. It was the elaborate barter and a surveillance agreement revealing the mechanics of hidden power dynamic. So one, we get the gift exchange, where, like I said, Nubia was supposed to provide 360 slaves, gold, copper, all of these different things. 365 slaves, healthy adults annually, alongside exotic commodities like wild animals, high-grade ivory, gold. In return, Egypt provided wine, grains, and luxury textiles and horses. That is not a good trade. That is one of the worst trades. Not only is it one of the worst trades, you're starting a precedent where you're getting Nubian slaves. This precedent never stops. You understand? It never stops. As I'm going to continue to show you, this is the beginning of the end right then and there. Whoever made this stupid trade was nasty work. Internal border control. Functioning as an early international border security pact, the pact included stringent surveillance and extradition clauses. The Nubian king was legally bound to arrest and return any Muslim outlaw or escaped slave freeing from Egypt. Merchants and diplomats enjoyed safe passage and market access, but strict terms prohibited permanent settlement, effectively preventing any demographic encroachment into the Nubian territories. That sounds good in a treaty, but here is the most diabolical part, and you may think the slaves were the diabolical part, but that wasn't the diabolical part. But within this contract, the Muslims use something like a Trojan horse, where they wanted a mosque built in Nubia. So this clause symbolized the physical imposition of political and religious influence. The treaty compelled Christian Nubians to construct and maintain a central mosque in their capital, exclusively for visiting Muslim dignitaries. Furthermore, Nubians were forbidden from preaching Christianity within this mosque or interfering with Islamic calls to prayer, establishing a symbolic foothold of Islamic presence within their sovereign Christian land. If you ask me, this is the first of the last. It's setting a precedent to take our Nubian people as slaves on an annual basis. And it is also putting a footprint in that can only spread after that. Let's keep going. Whenever sa.neter says stop, I'll be back. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, there was another crippling blow. In the 13th century, there was a Nubian king named King David, right, of Mercuria. Shout out to him. He aggressively resisted the Arab occupation of Egypt. And he said, nah, I'm not giving you nothing. That's what he said, right? I'm not doing it. So he stopped paying the treaty. He stopped paying the slaves. He wasn't with none of that. And to me, this is commendable because his defiance preserved Nubian sovereignty. These are the stories that we don't hear. However, he had a nephew called Shan Kandu. This is crazy work. And this was also another, if that was the black eye for the right eye, this was the black eye for the left eye. He said, knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out the box, Rick. However, in 1272, King David's nephew, Shan Kandu, seeking to usurp the throne, allied himself with the Sultan of Egypt. Okay. He's going out there and he says, yo, check this out, bro. If you do invade, I'll get my boys, right? I'll have a crew of people and we'll help you. Who does that, bro? Who does that? You know who does that? People that are tired of being broke. People that could see it coming instead of standing the ground and be like, yo, we're going to fight. We're going to fight together. They're like, yeah, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. And then they go off and then they make a secret pact. And then that's what he did. Right? So it made it easy because King David already stopped paying. So the Sultan claimed the northern regions of Nubia as his personal fief, effectively establishing a lasting precedent for Islamic rule in Sudan. This strategic maneuver pushed indigenous Nubians further inland, significantly encroaching upon their ancestral territories. However, they was already in. So if you ask me, the bottleneck is broken. They're already in, bro. It's only a matter of time. And they would do this. Now, I want you to understand maybe I should stop here for the part 2 or whatever the case is, but I want you to understand they would use Islam. Even though I don't have any religion, I don't seek to like strike a bad chord with other people who have religion. I see the purpose for some people who have religion to conquer themselves. You understand? But they use this religion to conquer, to trick the Nubian people. And we can stop there. What you want to do, Sa? You want to do a part 2 and just let open up the panel? People
I'm gonna open up the panel.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a part 2. And family, if y'all have any questions for the brother, this is your time to come on in. I'm dropping the link and let's get it in. Bro, hey, Saladin, you started getting hot, man. Damn, when it's time to close out for a minute.
Yeah, I didn't know my time period, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah. We was about to get in. We was about to go, man. But that's a good place to stop because this way when we do part 2, I'll start right there. And
remember where you stopped at.
Yeah.
Now that way you can probably add some more stuff while you're getting ready for next week. Next week will be good, right?
Oh yeah, next week is perfect, man.
Same time.
Yeah, same time. Let's do it, man.
Okay.
Let's do it. Yep. And as these people are coming up, you just let them up and I'll go from there.
Brother Suntan is in the building. Brother Suntan, you have any questions for the brother Jamel?
Yep, I got one question and one question only because I admire your scholarship and also I admire your journey, Brother Jamal.
Thank you.
And then this is a question that's been throughout our community, right? So in your studies, and it's not it's a non-sector too, really. And I want to go by phenotype because we already distinguished that they wasn't using black, white, Arab back in the day. But who occupied Egypt first, as far as phenotype, in your consensus, in your thought? Who occupied Egypt first?
As far as
phenotype, as far as people, person, because I just don't want to say that the black people occupied.
Oh, the Nubians had it first.
Right. So is it a misnomer when they say that there was no because Nubians was looking like me, right?
So this is why. So in the beginning, this is why I purposely went and I explained bloodline, ancestry.
Right. That's why I purposely asked.
Yeah. So when I say Nubian, I mean the ancestry, the bloodline of the Nubians. We had it for close to, and I am no Egyptologist, but I think 12 dynasties. And again, you have other brothers like the brother Jabari and all these other people that really tell you. But I think the Nubians had it for about 12 dynasties before we gave it up or were conquered by the other bloodlines.
So to come full circle with the question, you would say Nubians looked like us.
But it was that. See, that's the problem right there.
Yeah, that's the problem, brother Jamal. That's why I was I'm not even. This not no gotcha moment or nothing. Cause they fight about that. So I'll move on. So I would just, I like your studies and you make a lot of sense. However, it's different sorts of points to these kind of conversations. So in your conversations, I'm thinking you saying they look like us. So I'm gonna move on because I'm not gonna.
And the double down or probably give you what you're looking for. It made it easier to look like us the further they went on, because they started using, and that's where I was about to get to. That's why I started with that pact, that treaty, because we started a precedent where we were giving them our females. So now, I mean, the work I have, it gets deep. So do come back next Sunday.
I will.
But now the children are coming out with this same phenotypes. So yeah, we're going to develop. I'm going to go into something where they develop the Afro-Asian, right? Okay. And all of this has to be broken down for us to understand today, because there were some people later on that came and took a full advantage of our affinity with the Afro-Asian versus the unmixed black Balad al-Sudan, the black people of Sudan.
Now, one thing for me, one little pushback real quick. When you said the Nubians had ancient Egypt first, I got the pushback on that. I got to say, no, they did not. They had their own destiny. They had their own development. Now, sure, the Nubians were some of the people. They looked like us. But the Egyptians, the ancient Kemetic people, had it first. They had their own destiny. They had their own temples and stuff like that. Now, I could be wrong. I'm just saying, I hope my brother Dr. Reggie come up here and maybe he can see
so
what's up with that.
Where do you think Egypt? Okay, so maybe you.
Okay, I got you. I see where you're
going. Yeah, Egypt. That's why I went over the borderlines of what we held. You see, understand? Okay. We had Egypt because they wanted to get into that area, and the only reason we ever lost it is because they started building communities right outside, and they kept.
All right, yeah, but the people saying you right in the chat. They saying you right. Nah, they did have it first. It's a group which was on the borders of both. Yeah, the scholars is in here today.
All right. I like that.
Here go my man Harwin. Harwin, you sideways, brother. Talk to me, brother. I was just reading your comment. Damn, Harwin always have problems with his joint.
Hey, Si, that's why I asked that question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because they be beating around that, brother Jamal. They want to say ancient Egypt was nowhere black. Because I know today what they are because of the admixtures. And you were saying that earlier. You was kind of leading to that, but you didn't say it. You were saying they were selling us off cheap, as we're selling our women off cheap for wine and stuff like that. So that what made me had that. You see, I was tuning in.
Yeah, but I see. What I wanted to establish is how we even got there. So a lot of times a conversation is not starting where it's supposed to. So therefore, that's why I went all the way back to the desert just growing and why that would even happen. Why would people build outside of Egypt like that? They built that because they wanted to be close to that river, close to where things was being traded and stuff like that. Yeah. Then they figured, okay, well, we could push on in. And then that's what they eventually did.
Right.
All right. Harwin, what's up, brother?
What's popping, sir?
I was just reading your comment. Go in a little bit on that, what you were saying?
Yeah, Reggie did a show on this, I think, last week or a couple weeks ago, a little bit, but Reggie was saying some good information. The so-called Nubians were the first. The first known, they call it Tasseti. That's modern borders separated Egypt and Sudan, but those borders didn't exist. So in the A group, you will see that was already there. The motifs for kingship come from the A group, and even before what we would call the A group. You see Osiris on the Kuster incense burning. Info-D, she come on here and talk about that. Reggie talked about it. A lot of people talked about it. So they did get that culture from. In fact, Professor Godo said that in before the Nakata period, these people were indistinguishable. When you calling Kemet in Egypt or Kemet in Nubia.
Okay. All right, brother Ashe, you there? What's up?
No, if you read my comments, I said the exact same. Everything he just said, I said in the comments already. I will still come help you all out with that. Overall, I think it was a good presentation. The brother definitely hitting on some stuff, and and I think I want to say this too to the community, and because I heard some brothers I'm seeing some comments like pseudo.
Turn your camera on, man.
I got my shirt off. I don't like being on YouTube with my shirt off.
Yeah, me neither. All right, you're right.
But what I was gonna say was though, a lot of guys, man, I respect scholarship too. Like I love the scholarship, but don't forget that the conscious community, man, was built on our awareness of what's going on and our understanding of these texts as well. Now, I'm not discluding the scholarly consensus, but if you don't have an understanding to a point that's applicable for you and you can understand it, I think that's what a lot of these brothers do. And I appreciate the brothers for that more than ever. Because I think we got a little tainted with the pseudo term, and I'm starting to really get what Lex Vortex been saying. Like, I think we got to really open it back up for the true consciousness, not just the whole programmed, if this is what they say, then this is what it is. I was having to. So I appreciate this brother for this presentation. I really do.
Let me saying pseudo is the ones that pseudo.
Thank you, brother. So I'm gonna keep it real with you. I love the House of Conscience, right? You know why I went back over to the dirty section? It was people that was here that was saying pseudo this and pseudo that, right? And I'm like, bro, this is not pseudo. This is scholarship. Now I'm an intellectual. I came here to bang with the scholars, right? So don't just say pseudo to me and you don't have a way to back that up, right? So the link is open. What you could do though,
he's describing
what you could do is I'm gonna be back here Sunday. You could go ahead and take everything I said and you could try to refute what I said. That's what you could do. Okay. And then I'll be back here next Sunday and we're gonna bang out. That's it.
And that's what I be telling the guys. They want to act like they the know-all, tell-all, calling you pseudo. When who is you to call me pseudo?
I call you pseudo officers, like you. They pseudo officers.
All right, yo, let me drop this real quick. My man, Dr. Reggie, will be doing a show tonight, and this sounds very interesting. I got to be in the building. All right, he says, I have a show at 8:30. The Bible was written in sa.neter, not Greek. Join me. Oh my God, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that's gonna be
nice.
nice.
I spoke to him on the phone, and I said, like "You got sources for that?" He said, "Yes, he coming with sources."
There are sources for that.
Oh man, that's gonna be crazy right there. But is he talking about the New Testament Bible? He got to be talking about the New Testament.
No, he got to be talking the old side.
He could be talking about both, but I'm gonna keep my mouth closed.
No, listen. The New Testament was the only one that was written in Greek. So he's saying in the sa.neter.
No, the Septuagint is written in Greek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you, son.
Septuagint. Yeah.
Oh, here you go, right here. Let Reggie clear his own name up. Reggie, what are you talking about when you say the Bible was written in sa.neter, not Greek? Which one are you talking about? The old or the new?
The most of the New Testament with additions of most of the New Testament and some aspects of, but most of the New Testament was written in Coptic, which is the last form of the sa.neter. It was not written in Greek. It was not written. It was not written in Greek, as people believe. The later versions are really in Latin. They want to say it's Greek, but it's actually in Coptic, which is the last form of.
Yeah, man, you must have did some heavy research.
This is how you know Dr. Icky beat Jabari in that debate, but let me be quiet.
Yeah, be quiet.
Right. But I do want to I do want to say to Jamel, Saladin, well laid out presentation. Glad to have you. It was coherent. It was
No, he
chronology
be
was
with
right.
your boy, right? He be with your man.
Who?
10 toes down.
Oh, he's with 10 Toes Down?
Yeah,
Oh,
live
wow, what's
in
that?
person. They be together in person.
Yeah, that's my man. Yeah.
So he's he's a different type of character hanging around with
Right.
10 Toes
Yeah,
Down.
yeah.
Yeah, so you know
They street
he's giving it up.
certified.
Yeah.
They street certified. They
Right.
they come and see you. They come and see you face to face. They pull up. I know these types, you know, the Mount Vernon type dudes. I know those types. I live in Co-op City, and so I know your types, right? So well laid out presentation. Glad to have you. Glad that sa.neter found you.
He came to me. He knew who I was already. He knew who I was.
Oh, he was
Brother Saladin know me.
Okay.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Hey, let me bring in my man. Let me bring in my other man, my brother, Unc, man. Unc, what's going on, brother? Unmute yourself.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, how you brother doing? How you doing, brother Reggie? How you feeling, man?
Good to see you. Good to see you always.
Brother, and the other brothers, Elder Son Payne, Harwin, and of course Ashe, right? And sa.neter and Jamel. Am I saying your name right?
You said it correctly, brother. Thank you.
Saladin.
Right.
Let me get straight to it. First of all, I like your clarity in speech, the way you present it. I like that. Right? Appreciate that, right?
Thank you.
But I have you brought 4 sources, and I also appreciate the 4 sources, the 4 books you showed. I think that's critical to our learning, so we can kind of critique it based off of that. The first book, The Destruction of Black Civilization, my favorite book. I used to read it once a year. Now I try to read it once every maybe 3 years. Favorite book, right? Now, the book is outdated, though. So I want to let you know that's an outdated source, right? Is it academic? It's partially academic, but it's outdated, right? In a lot of areas. So we have more up-to-date information that we should be giving our community. So I'm never presenting that book as a source no more. I'm simply saying it's outdated. If the people can't take it, then they don't want to know the truth. They want to stay outdated. The book was written in 1971. I met his grandchildren, right? That's my favorite scholar of all time, right? Is it a pseudo history? In some areas it is, right? But that's okay, because we stand on his shoulders. We ain't staring him in the eyes, and we ain't on his toenails, right? We're going to stand on his shoulders, and we're going to add to the stuff that we got now. More archaeology, more things like that. I also like the way you handled that treatise. You know what I'm saying? I may disagree because Africans, you think they was Christians, but Africans can practice 4 or 5 religions, right? That's their culture. It's not a big idea. They not Christians like we really think. They practice the juju, they practice the Ifa, they still Christian, matter of fact, they practice Islam, Christianity the way they want to do it. All right? The next book, okay? The next book. Who were the Moors before the Moors, right? That's not an academic source at all. So we had to throw that in the trash. We never present that to the community, right? There's a lot of racial aspects to it that they mix and matching, anachronistic ideas on race and all that. And I'm going to deal with the statement of race that you made, right? Not yet, right? It's definitely outdated, okay? There's strong concerns with pseudo-history. That's basically a pseudo-historian book. We would never use that. Now, this would get serious. Timbuktu and the Songhai Empire, Scribe, Griot, and what's the novelist, right? These are academic sources for sure. They're top-notch. So we would stay in those texts right there to get the history out of it, right? So I'm telling people, read the book Timbuktu and the Songhai Empire, read the Griot, Scribe, and the novelist, right? These are academic sources. They're still useful today, okay? Right? And relevant, okay? No concerns with pseudo history at all of that. So you have a truth and falsehood strangely mixed thing going on right here. This seems to be the problem in our community. It's okay though, because since you brought the sources, people who know and read the works can say, yo, this is a good book, this ain't, and we can just slide them to the side. This is the only way this community gonna grow, bro. The fact that you had clear presentation that we could see it wasn't no mumble jumble, right? And we could actually articulate what you were saying. Now we can just go on the sources, and maybe the next time you come back, you'll focus on them 2 super serious works you brought. So those last 2 works are super serious works, and they're primarily still useful today. They're not outdated. We would not call that. Now, I have a concern with the term hickapatah, right? What you said about hickapatah was they erase it to get rid of the blackness, right? That's not really what happened. They wasn't trying to erase anything.
So I'm sorry. I just need to
anything.
There was several things that you said that I didn't feel was even well, let me just say the last thing that you just said was incorrect. I didn't say they did it to erase the blackness, but it was a adverse effect of what happened. So I'm going over how the amalgamation of these races are coming together, and as these other groups of people start to take over, how they put their footprint, and then it changes and removes the unmixed black Nubian footprint. That is what I was saying. I also want to respond to you on the books that I brought. Now, I just seen somebody's comment. It's still there. It says everything outdated. Then laugh emoji, and then it says,
I'll send you $20. Yeah, I didn't put a whole lot. I got.
Can you mute that, please?
Yeah. My fault.
Thank you. Now, I also feel like somebody just came up here and they said, see, these people come here to learn. This is the house of consciousness. If you don't have anything to say that is going to build or necessary to say, I feel it could wait. Don't use my time on the show to grandstand me, because it's not going to work, right? So when you tell me we are going to throw a book out the window, we not doing nothing, because
so hold on,
stop.
No.
Let me finish.
You don't know what
the brother cut me off. He cut me off first, though, just for the record, yo. Right, so we don't get this back and forth thing, brother Saladin. You cut me off first. I was not finished speaking, and you dove in. Now, hold on, and you dove in, and now you're getting slightly, a little bit slick for no reason. I'm here as your comrade, right? I'm here as this is our community, right? So no one's better than each other. So I'm saying, don't push it that way, bro. Keep it right here. That way we don't got to be in battle mode. You get it? We don't got to be in battle mode. I want to continue this great conversation we're having. I don't want to have to step on it like that, because I can't. Right? I'm not afraid. I will beat the brakes off of them wild sources you bought like you ain't never seen it before, because I've read the books. I know what is pseudoscience. I know what is not historical. And I know what the up-to-date archaeology says. I understand the racial construct like I'm built for it. So let's just keep it right there where you at. And I never said throw anything away. I'm saying to be professional in what we doing, texts get out of date. That's how they do it. And if it's out of date, it's goddamn out of date. That's it. That's all I'm saying, bro. It's out of date work. You can't keep giving it to our community like that, or you'll be pegged a pseudo. That's all I'm saying, bro. Go ahead, Saladin. Now I've said what I had to say. Get back to what you said about the Nubians in some kind of way changing the name of Egypt affected the Nubians. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, like I was saying, bro. This is why I don't like to waste my time. So when someone wants to come on the show and grandstand, I don't really care what you know. It's not your show. If you wanted to debate something, you did not tell me what in this I said that was outdated. So I think that is a ridiculous statement. Yo, that book is outdated, so we throw it. And you did say that. When you go back, you watch the tape. You said we're going to throw that out. Now, we got young people that came here to learn. We got old people that came here. We got people that just came here to learn. And the first thing you get up and do is, yo, those sources is outdated, this, that, and the third. Or what did I say that was outdated out of this book? Because I don't even think.
I said that book.
Hold up, bro. Don't interrupt me. I'll let you talk.
You're right. Absolutely, you did. I apologize.
I know. Now, They already told you how I give it up. So I don't really care how you come at it this way to the third. I'm talking the way I talk, bro. So yeah, I seen you before before I even came over here. I know you the one who always like to throw out the word pseudo when somebody don't agree with you. Like I said, I came to bang with the scholars. You could go back, look at the tape, and get it correct this time. And then next Sunday, when it's your time to come up and talk or something like that, then we could go back and forth because I can learn from you. We don't take my aggression as anything other than when I feel someone is wrong or falsely saying something on me. That's when that aggression come out, and I felt like you just wanted a moment during my first time up here, and that's cool to put me through a little hazing ritual or whatever the case may be, but you know, it ain't gonna go down like that. So I'm gonna need you. It's just like you want me to be accurate on the things that I'm saying. I'm gonna need you to be accurate in specific. So tell me, don't just say, yo, we're gonna throw that whole book out, because this book actually did teach me some things. Like I said, I started off my show with the fact that I didn't know who Sunni Ali was. Is that outdated? Is Sunni Ali Burr a non-fictional character or something like that? Like, no, he's a real person, and this is the book that I learned. Now, whatever qualms you got with, bro, you could have just said that. Yo, I just want to acknowledge that book that you, Who Were We Before the Moors, is not, you know what I'm saying, from a scholarly book, and I would have accepted that. But you started the aggression first, and there's no way on earth am I just going to sit back and let you do that. So you bring it down, I'll bring it down. I meet your energy, my brother. I appreciate your comment.
So hold on. First of all, I didn't come on here to grandstand on you. Did you forget about the 2 scholarly works that I gave credit for? So my question to you is, you're trying a tactic right now. You know what that tactic is? When a person gives you a clear, concise point, you try to refute it, right, by focusing in on the one source that you brought that I said was a pseudo history and was out of date. The other 2, I said they was top-notch sources. But did you focus on that? No, you didn't. You know why you didn't focus on them 2 sources? Because you knew who I was. And you understand, right, that at a certain point, you might just be wrong. So you sway the audience in a real interesting way to make it seem like I'm coming to the grandstand. Look, I already got what I got, right? I am who I am. Right. And I'm saying that book you held in your hand is trash. Now I got to say what it is. It's trash, and you can't make it no more than what it is. It's trash. I can say that. You didn't write the daggone book, sir. If you wrote the book, then you might take it personal. I don't care what you thought you learned out of it. It's a pseudo history book, and it's trash. I love Chancellor Williams, bro. So if I can critique, my first show I ever did in my life was called The Destruction of the Black Civilization Show, bro. This was 25 years ago. I love this man right here. All right. So if I can say something about a book, I can definitely say something about that trash book that you bought. It ain't personal, yo. It's just business. I'm not grandstanding. I'm saying I thought you did a great job. I didn't call your presentation pseudo. I did not do you like that, bro. I said you handled the bot thing eloquently. So I'm trying to feel, why'd you hear the one, just because you learned something from the book don't mean we should take that old pseudo book and learn from it, bro. That's all I'm saying, yo. That's your personal opinion. I'm giving you my scholarly opinion on what that word was right there. So it ain't about me and you back and forth. I'm gonna let the other gentleman get in. I appreciate the way we handle the conversation. We get sensitive, both of us, but we good right now, yo. I'm gonna tell you what you can do. Listen to the responses. That's all you got to do. And if people start trying to bash me for telling you that book is pseudoscientific, you know that book is pseudoscientific. That's a little key for you right there. I'm done. Appreciate you, son, right here. I'm going to mute out. Let everybody get in. Thank you, Saladin. I appreciate you, bro. No shade on you, bro. No shade.
I don't understand why we have to do this. And I get it, because I come from the dirty section. But I think the House of Consciousness to only have a little bit of the WWE in it. You understand? It should be a limit to the WWE type of business. Like, so all the rhetoric that you just said was unnecessary again, right? You could have gave your points, and that would have been that. I did not get I told you why I got emotional. So your second reason for saying that, yo, you know why you doing that is because you might be wrong. No. That I'm very confident in my scholarship, and I look forward to other scholars like yourself to be able to say, Brother Saladin, just like you. I thought you was about to go somewhere, where you just went, with the renaming of meaning. So my ace is wide open. I respect your scholarship, bro. I respect. Don't get it twisted. I respect your scholarship. What I don't agree with is you throw out the word. What is that?
Pseudo.
So much, bro. You overuse the term, and I get it if you find that the book is trash. I wouldn't get mad if you call this book garbage, feces. I don't care. I'm saying you say, yeah, I don't care what you thought you learned. I didn't think I learned anything, my brother. I learned something. That is the difference. And in your opinion, someone else may have a different opinion, but I just want to express again, I don't know if you don't know who you are because you sound very confident, but you are one of them. So these people are coming to listen. When they coming to listen to the scholarship and you accept it as a scholar, my brother, we can't roll around in the mud for fun like everybody else do. You understand? We can't do that. We could get out to 125th Street and jazz it up a little, but come on, when we up here and we got thousands of people watching, these people want knowledge. And so far, not once did you really say anything where you was like, man, this brother is talking straight trash. You didn't do that. I wasn't talking straight trash.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, you didn't do that, and I appreciate your comment, brother. And it's just
check it out. Check it out, though. Yeah, you got two super duper books that's still relevant today. You got Chancellor William book that's outdated. It's 50 years old, yo. You can't. My mistake early on was giving people Chancellor Williams. It was already out of date, and I'm saying our community can do better than continue to rely on outdated works and then get upset about the outdated works. I'm the one that read Chancellor Williams, Dr. Ben. That's my favorite people, right? John Jackson. Don't nobody talk about them. Ain't nobody atheists like them. They atheists. They support what I'm doing. So if I'm the guy to say, yo, they out of date, they got some things right, they got some things wrong, then all you got to do is just check it out. Now you got ChatGPT. Any book you think you got that's thorough, throw it in your ChatGPT and see what it say. That's all you got to do to get that out the way.
Here we go, This is how we're going to do it, man. When you hear me say something next week that is out of pocket, I'm going to say silent. You can sit up here with me, right?
All right, hold on, y'all. Everybody, let me say this, man.
Yeah.
I'm the one that called Unc up and say, yo, Unc, you got to get on. You got to come check the brother out. The brother got a new brother. He going in, dealing with the Moors, right, Unc?
Yeah, I like
what store you going to?
And so what I'm saying is go on mute. Go mute yourself, brother.
What store you going?
All right, let me mute. People be forgetting to mute. Everybody should be on mute anyway until they ready to talk. All right, let me say this real quick about my man, Unc. To me, we need brothers like Unc in this community. We need brothers like Cedric in this community. We need the pseudo killers. We need community skeptics. Mm-hmm. Because to me, I look at them. We need brothers like Dr. Reggie because I look at them as the litmus test. And so that's why I call these brothers, say, yo, you got to come on, check the brother out. And already they giving my man Jamel Saladin mad props. Of course, ain't nobody gonna ever agree with everything nobody say. Nah. But they giving the brother mad props. And that's the point right there. So he's definitely on point. And this is his first time over here. But I guarantee you, if he start coming over more and more, people gonna start adapting to what the brother's breaking down and adapting to his scholarship. So Unc is definitely the litmus test, and he will challenge your information, and that's what we need.
That's the one thing about Unc. I just want to say, I want to give a compliment. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't know who he was. It's certain people I knew. I had to know who they was before I came over here. I was never gonna come over here and get demolished because I sat back, I watched. I sat back, I watched Reggie. I sat back, because it's a mental martial arts, yes. Right? And I said, I think I delayed myself 10 toes down. Said, yo, you know, sa.neter's my cousin. I could get you up there. I said, hell no. Ask him. I said, hell no. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And I went into deep scholarship because of I respect. So, Unc, what I'm saying is I respected your scholar. You made me hold up. I could have came up 2 years ago, but because of brothers like yourself and the rest on the panel, I said, no, I got to go back. I'm not ready. In my head, I'm ready. But there's things I need to polish up on. So to be honest with you, you was one of the first faces I expected to see, but it was also the face I didn't want to see because I knew you was going to swing in an axe. So, and that's the truth. So you swung your axe, and I just swung back, brother. So I knew it was
It's love. I appreciate your demeanor and your professionalism. That's all I ask, yo. I'm not a hater, yo. I'm actually a participator, yo. But there's certain ground rules that I know I came into the community that wasn't there. You could say anything you want to do out your mouth, right? I mean, hell, sa.neter, he on 125th, he allowed the community to grab that mic and say what he needed to say, right? I wanted to bring in a system that could determine who was more closer to what we needed in accuracy, right? And I found it by learning anthropology, in that is archaeology, evolution, and all that. And this is the tools we use, right, to tell our story. And the foundation of that is Sheikh Anta Diop's, Dr. Ben, Chancellor Williams. Hell, Chancellor Williams say, go to Europe first and learn, because all the stolen stuff is in the museums. I learned that from them. He said, go to Europe first on the first couple pages. John Henry Clark say, learn Europe. So I learned European history first. And you can study through European history, right? So I did that. But what I'm saying is, when you read Dr. Ben's book, he talk about Charles Darwin. They slayed me for talking about Charles Darwin and evolution. Dr. Ben taught that. John Jackson taught that. Sheikh Anta Diop taught that. But they all scurry out the way and slide their way into the religious part of it and forget the scientific stuff. So I stood on the scientific stuff that when brothers like you and me come on here, other brothers could see what we was actually sourcing and read it, and there's some checks and balances in the community. That's what scholars do. And I'm not saying I'm a scholar. I'm simply saying is I learned from the best scholars. That's all I'm saying. And it breaks on conversations.
Let me go to Ashay. Ashay been waiting for a minute. Go ahead, Ashay. You got the mic.
You know, I like the brother Saladin said, I've been watching. And I gotta say this, man, Sa, your boy Ankh is like 0 for 3 or maybe 0 for 4. This 0 for 4. This is 0 for 4 because you got the whole bomb squad. It was Humble, me, and Guy Energy. That was like a package deal where he just lost out big, fire his credential, and then he's doing it now. And what he did and what he does is he comes on and he tells guys stuff like, oh man, you pseudo or you're outdated, but he's not giving nobody direction. Now, that's what I noticed back in the day. You couldn't come on sa.neters and call nobody wrong and then not show how you was wrong and then go on an emotional tangent and try to give like a middle analysis of the brother. Oh, you got emotes, bro. This ain't the 48 laws of power. This the house of consciousness. So if that brother is outdated in his book, give him some examples. Hey, man, this see, when they said this right here, that was outdated. Then when they said this right here, that was outdated. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. But if you're not going to do that, then maybe you should just keep the comment, wait till you actually got your stuff together to actually say it, and then maybe we come back and we revisit it later. Well, all you finna do is tell this brother he's wrong. You're going to go home, study the subject, and then try to make a show about the brother. And that's garbage. That's super garbage. You did the same thing to us. When I had the presentation about the Bible plagiarization from the other Semitic tales, you didn't come up and talk about that, did you? No, you came up talking about evolution. Took it right to your ballpark. This brother had a nice little build, but you're not talking about the build you want to highlight. We're talking about this book that you haven't pointed out nothing wrong with it. God Energy went in on the Moors. You came up talking about people shouldn't be using the color black. Like, it's bad. That's why I had to leave you alone, bro. Because at this point, it's strange. It's real strange. You know, at this point, it's like picking. It's like picking to me. Because that's not consciousness, bro. You go tell that brother he wrong, bro. Show that brother he wrong, bro. Don't just be it. That's a hater. Anybody else go? That's not a skeptic. That's a hater. Skeptics tell you why you wrong. They don't just come hate. I'm done. Go ahead.
All right, Unc, I'm gonna let you respond. I wanted to say this too, Unc. Like, I agree a little partial of what my brother Ashay is saying. Like, when you tell somebody this book is outdated or this book is pseudo, Unc, why not come back with, you need to check this book out, brother. Check that out right there. You know, that's what Ashay is saying. Like, yo, instead of just trying to tear a brother down and leaving him down, build him up. Build the brother up by saying, brother, that book is outdated. here's the book you need to check out. I did this book already. I did that work, and people was hitting me with the outdated. And so I did the research, and I got a better information. That's what Ashe is probably saying, brother. Like, lead a brother towards
Exactly
the
what I'm saying.
information instead of just saying it's outdated and leaving them down right there. So of course a brother is going to respond back now because he feel that you challenging him. So a man is always going to respond back to you when you challenge a man, and the way you bringing it, he going to come back and respond right back the same way. Now, if you came that way, I think the brother would be more open to say, okay, the brother's showing me a different book. Let me go and check that book out. You see what I'm saying? Now you don't have that argument, What do you say?
You catch more flies with sugar.
No, you gotta be quiet, Ashe, because you're a flaming pseudo. That's
right,
why
all right, let's let it go. Let's let it go. Go ahead.
I dress you on the bombs, but they pseudos. That's why you hating because you're a damn pseudo, and I'm saying it. And you're a young pseudo. You 28 years old and pseudo. But when I was 28, I was pseudo. So I'm expecting you to grow like Saladin did. Now you coming up here with divisive comments. Let me tell you why. First of all, I talked about the 4 books he had. And I gave the strengths of the damn books and the weaknesses of the book. So that's all I was focused on. I wasn't trying to replace any of the books he had. That's your narrative. See, the pseudos gonna listen to that nonsense. I told him what books was outdated. 1971, I said it. I gave him the book that was pseudo-historical. I told him the excellent ones. So I wonder why I say you didn't focus on when I said you got 2 top-notch sources. Nobody talked about that. And you know why nobody talked about that? Because the community is young in this right now. Don't hate me, hate the game. We can't take scholarly critique. Saladin did a way better job of handling that shit than you did, Ashe. You just a flaming pseudo. You can't handle critique. You actually think when I say, no, yo, bro, Shigant Diop's got that wrong, all of a sudden you think I'm a hater. And then I can explain to you why I got that wrong. I'm a hater. So in the community, I'm a hater, right? But in academic setting, I be known by something different. You know what I'm saying? I be known by a man who reading sources saying, no, this is wrong, this is outdated. I wouldn't be known as a person that's hating. How can I be hating, right? If I love this man enough to say, bro, that book right there, they have more up-to-date work on the subject. How is that hate? You want me to come and say, Saladin, God damn it, I love that book. I've been reading that book for 25 years every day. That's a great book. Then what service are we doing to the community? You just don't got the stomach for it, Ashe. You just want to stay pseudo. And I never overuse that word pseudo. When I say you're a damn pseudo, you need to be checking that out. You need to be finding out, why is Unc saying he a pseudo? Or why did Unc say that book is a pseudo-historical book? Why? Right. What his call is, y'all ain't respecting the game. But I'm going to tell you, like, respect the game or get flames. Ashe, you and your crew ain't been able to do nothing with me. I never came at y'all to challenge y'all. I simply said, y'all using racial constructs, y'all fall into the hands of white academia with the nonsense and knock it off. It's not aligning with the scientific information that you claim to be presenting. That's what I said. So I ain't got a problem with Saladin. Saladin gonna take my words and go back and say, damn, shit. But you, Ashe, you gonna keep getting beat up. You on the bomb squad. You know why y'all gonna get beat up? Because y'all young and dumb and full of cum for no damn reason, yo. I give you critique because I know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm done. I ain't going.
But you just did it, Unc. You just did it. You just did it again.
All right, come on, y'all.
Hold on, wait. You said you were done.
Come on now.
Hey, just breathe.
Go ahead.
You just did it again, Unc. When you came on, me and God Energy, you said y'all ain't no such thing as white academia, black academia. But then you just literally said, wait, watch this. He literally just said y'all falling into the hands of white academia. But science and academia ain't got no colors on it. This is what he doing.
They push race.
Hold on, wait. I didn't cut you off. Watch this. It's getting crazier.
All right, hold on. Do y'all have any questions for Saladin now?
This bring it back to his question. I'm going to bring it back to Saladin. Yeah, this Saladin day, man. I apologize, Saladin. Don't listen to them young dudes at 28. They don't know what the hell they talking. He ain't even read Chancellor Williams' book at all. He don't even know what it smelled like, my nigga. He don't even know what the Masis are in the destruction of black civilization. He don't know in the first 3 pages they talk about where to study history first, studying the damn, go to Europe and study the damn museum. He don't know that, but guess what? You knew that, but that nigga don't know that. Talking crazy. Hey, Saladin, don't listen to him, dog, yo. He can't hold the bottom.
You being mad disrespectful.
Because I'm a disrespectful dude. How about that? I'm disrespectful to the pseudos. You know why? Because for so long, the damn pseudos, people...
Can you name a presentation I ever did that was pseudo, ever?
All of them is trash. You got beat up in the debate.
Can you tell me how it was pseudo?
Because you pseudo. Because you don't listen. I listen to you. You don't listen to me. When you say something right, I say it's right. When you say something crazy, I'm saying it's crazy. You don't have that mechanism. You think I'm going against you. I'm not going against Saladin. Saladin is going to be a pillar in this damn community because he got enough sense to show his sources.
All we asked was for you to show how it was outdated, That's it. Nobody attacked your character. Nobody attacked you, Uncle Elder, calm down. Calm down. I know you probably took the meds tonight. But we were just wondering, can you point us to the right direction? And you failed to do. Hold on, wait. Stop. Hold on, because you're having an emotional breakdown. You failed to show us where he was outdated. You failed to do that. You're still talking. You're running your mouth. You're calling me all kind of niggas, being very disrespectful. But you still have not showed the outdated information in the book. And that's the problem. So I'm going to ignore all of your insults and going to still challenge you to show the outdated information in the book.
All right, that's it. Let's get back to Saladin. Let's go.
Saladin, this is day.
You got it. You got anything you want to push on this?
Oh, no, I don't have anything that I want to push. I had a great time. You know, let me tell you something. I'm being serious. When you call me and say, hey, brother, did you see your poster? You up on Sunday, 5 o'clock. I told my daughter, I said, I almost threw up, right? Because the realization, I'm really going on the House of Conscience? Like, I'm really going to be up there? So right. I talk to the ancestors. I say, they say, what you think you've been studying for all this time? Like, now you got to go. You've been training all these years,
great, bro. Brother. You did good, man.
Jumping in. So this is everything, even the disagreements, I feel like this is my welcoming party. So I'm in the moment. I'm in the moment. I appreciate everything, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Just keep studying, brother. And Unc, even though Unc said don't listen to Ashe, Unc, Ashe, Dr. Reggie, listen, study with all of them, man. All of them got some great information that we all can learn from. And the same for y'all, study with my brother Saladin. We all can learn from each other, man. That's the way it is. But like you said, we do too much bashing each other, man. We got to stop that, man. We got to stop the bashing each other.
Well,
this was like the clean version. This was like the clean, educated version of what Chief X tried to do. I liked it.
Hold on. Most likely, we all on the same side. None of us are Christians. I don't know if Saladin is a Muslim because he got the name Saladin.
I'm not. I don't have any religion.
Okay, there you go. So all of us are on the same side. Except my cousin 10 Toes. I've been beating 10 Toes up for a while, trying to get him to put that religion to the side for a minute, and me and him go at it all the time. So 10 Toes is watching right now. I bet he watching because I called him up. Well, go ahead, Doctor.
One comment. I don't know, Brother Saladin, if you're in New York City, but if you are, please come to the Metropolitan Museum of Art with me, and please take care of and your family. So it's on the house. So you just let me know. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are better. Saturday has the longest hours. Sunday has short hours. But if you would like, I would like to take you and your family so you can see the primaries. And that's
man, I appreciate that, brother Reggie. You another name that I know. Again, man, I'm a little starstruck because I'm talking with the stars up here. You understand? And I just got invited, so I'll get your email if it's okay from brother sa.neter. And
put your email up, Reggie.
I don't want everybody today.
Okay, I got you.
But just send them my email.
I got you.
And we'll hook up. But yeah, the Metropolitan Museum of Art is in New York. You're still in New York?
I'm close enough by. I'm always in New York. Like he said, me and Tinto, we ride around sometime and we just snap on everybody. We just set up. So I'm always in New York, but I'm close enough, brother. I'm right here on the border.
Okay, so yeah, so that's great because uh, uh, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, it's most people don't go to museums, so we read a lot of the stuff through books, uh, and books are lots of books are commentaries. A lot of the people who are writing wasn't at the time period that the people were living, right? They come back and they write commentaries later, but it's the best commentaries that we have, or the only surviving commentaries that we have. And so the commentaries itself may not be right, and there might be another truth because there's biases in all groups of people who are writing. But the primaries are even more helpful because it adds to those gaps. So I'll be looking forward to you. Uh, um, I don't do too many museum trips anymore, but I will as soon as I get a schedule. I will. I would love to take you and your daughter because it's the most important is the future and what they see and the questions that they have, and then they can understand their parents better, especially when their parents take that leap into history, right? And the Metropolitan Museum has two great sections. It has the Nile Valley section, but it also has the West African section, the Central and West African section, and we can walk through it pretty quickly because
don't forget the Kemetic section and all that.
Yeah, so that's
and the Hebrew section.
And then it has the gaps with the Christians, the Byzantines, and the Christians. But the early Canaanite stuff, that exhibit is closed. But as sa.neter will tell you, the whole Bible is in one shelf.
Right. Right.
The Bible itself is in one shelf. It's not history. So they had it's closed now, but the whole Bible is in one shelf, right? What we have from the Bible is commentaries of people writing about things, but we don't have any primary. So with that, I'll see everybody later. When I do my show, I just got to polish some things and get some rest. All right, peace to you.
Yeah, Reggie gonna have a powerful show coming up.
Thank you,
and
brother.
man, I can't wait for that. That sounds good, Reggie.
You'll be watching the game, don't worry. But
yeah, I'll be watching the game and I'll be watching you.
But I just want to let everybody know the word God is not in the early Christian writings. Correct. It emerges. The word is nut or efnute. Those are sa.neter words, right? So God in the early Christian text, right, as it was written in Alexandria, is better used as nute or efnute, right? So somebody has been lying to you, and we know who has been lying to you, and you've been sucking it up, right? So now we're going to get to, we already showed that God's name is nute. That's how it's best expressed. Now we're going to go into.
Oh, hold on, Reggie. You saying that the Hebrews call him Yahweh? His name is not Yahweh. The original name is what?
No. So okay, that is so that name Yahweh, you will still find that in the Coptic, right? But when it comes to the period where they're writing the New Testament, they're writing it in Alexandria, and it's then the name God, when they use the God instead of Theos, they use it as nute, right? So, and then they express those stories in a language in the Nile Valley, not in the language of Judea, not in that language, not in the language of the Hebrews, right? But the New Testament. I'm talking about those Hebrew Israelite crazies, and I'm talking about some of these Christian crazies. They have been, if they wanted to tell you the truth, they would have, but they don't know it, so they're ignorant, unqualified, uneducated about the Bible that they use. They only care about the King James Version, but they don't know that the Bible was best expressed in using the language of the Nile Valley. So it'll be done. And if you didn't watch my other show, please. Well, I did it late, so I didn't get that many views. But anyway, y'all continue. And Brother Jamal Saladin, welcome to the show. Um, I don't. I think, like I said, most history is based on commentary, except for when we have primaries. When we have primaries, then if there's writing, we could see what they wrote at that time period. Doesn't mean it's true, but it means that the writing is there at that time. The Bach Treaty, we actually have a primary, and what happens with the Nubians is that the Nubians made the agreement, but they didn't fulfill the agreement. So there's been arguments in this document about fulfilling the agreements. So those people that we call the Nubians, which is a fake word, those groups of people, they resisted it. They just took the long game, right? And then they joined the Byzantine, or the Coptic. Well, first the Coptic and then the Byzantine, as a strategy to stop Islam for as long as they possibly could do. But anyway, welcome aboard. That's all my comments. Peace to y'all.
Reggie, real quick, Reggie. So I'm not wrong when I say a lot of times we mischaracterize Africans when they practice Christianity and Islam. They just want to have access to trade routes. I mean, that's important. Like Nzinga did the same thing.
Yeah,
Nobody did the same thing. Nzinga, yeah, I was about to say. I didn't get to Nzinga. I get to Nzinga in this presentation.
Okay,
you are absolutely right. From my scholarship, I'm sorry, you asked Brother Reggie. I'm sorry, I just got excited right there.
No, go ahead.
But yes, the trade routes had a lot to do with it, and where I'm going to get to at the end of this presentation is Sunni Ali Burr. He went along with the game. Yeah, I'll be Muslim. Okay, fine. But then they hated on him because he still held he was one of the last Mohicans to hold that spiritual West African identity. And there was one, his commander, Askia Muhammad. He was down for if I get in that position, I'm going full throttle Muslim. And this is one of the things that brought us down. As we will see next week, as we will see.
Yeah, it was trading. It was a trading religion. North Africa in itself, all through the whole, had established trade routes, so it made them global. So, but Islam was.
All right, Reggie.
Bye.
No, stay there, Reggie. Stay there for a minute. You see this dude? Temperatures going up. The heat is rising. Temperatures is going up. The heat is rising. You and Unc got to get in the ring, man, and let's get this thing popping, man. Come on, man. Two of the top scholars here right now. That's who the people want to see. They don't want to see Unc with nobody else. You're going to have to go through Dr. Reggie. Reggie, you're going to have to go through Unc. So all this old being scared of each other. Unc want to smoke. Unc want to smoke. Yeah. And that's the reason why I had to create this song, man.
Wants to smoke. Who wants to smoke? Yeah. Who wants to smoke? Ooh, yeah. Temperatures going up. The heat is rising. Scholars showing up. Audience vibing. We on a mission, competition is the only desire. Whose information will be facing the mercy of fire. So step up, stand up. Can you walk through hell? So tough, too tough.
Shout out to my queen, the Pastor Da.
Fire.
Shout out to my queen, the Pastor Da.
Made that one.
Hey, for that first handwritten, right there. Handwritten.
Yeah, that's hard.
Handwritten. She wrote that right there.
That's
okay.
Hard. Yeah, who wanted to smoke though? See, I don't live in a smoke-free environment. Right? I'm the machine to take the smoke out the damn room. Because I practice scientific literacy. I'm not attached to no deity in the sky. And I bring the science, and people will respect me later on down the line, yo. As everybody grow, you'll see where I'm at. I was where, people want to listen to Dr. Ben and Chancellor Williams and none of them back then because they was ahead of their time. Right? They got usurped by Phil Valentine and Dr. Sabi and the pill, red, green, purple pills. That's fake nonsense, bro. I'm never calling them dudes fake right there. Them dudes was standing on academia. right? They look in the back of the book for the sources first. That's how I learned it, yo. But if you put yourself in that arena, you already know it's going to be more archaeological digs in hell. They ain't even digging in Africa like they can. No, because you got to support. How many of y'all on this channel is sending money to archaeological digs? You got one guy, Anthony Broder, who actually been on the dig for 20 years and raised money, right? But he don't even talk about that. He go right back to talking about the pseudo stuff. That's what I don't understand. He's in the archaeological dig. He know what our people need, but he won't talk about it. I can say that without throwing no shame on that man. Your credit is, yo, you had an archaeological dig. It would back up how you understand history. You can't understand history from just books. You have to spend your money. You got to do something like this. Put that up there, sir. This how we doing it. We doing it like this. What's this? So when Reggie and them get to talking the meta-nature magic and all that about Castule and all that, yo, these is true archaeological surveys on Nubia. Right. What did they get out the ground? What is we looking at? What's the dates? What's the time? What's the chronology? Who was these people? What was they doing? What was their religion? What was their social structure? What was their identity? Most people don't even know that the daggone Nubians had iron.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to that yet.
They had iron. They had the iron daggers. Most of y'all don't know the Nubians was actually a war society. Them Egyptians ain't want none of that smoke. The Nubians came and took that. They not only took Egypt, they took the Middle East too. They ruled all of Egypt. Nubia, Egypt never ruled all of them. They wasn't caring about no herbs. Serious people, Nilalic people. Look, that's why I give y'all this source. I say this is a source right here. Y'all ain't never heard of this. What that say? That say Southern Nilalic history, Christopher R.
Neolithic history. That's right. You talking right. They had. They were master masons. They were you talking right. I just got to jump in there. They had master masons. They had universities.
Not Neolithic, Nilotic. All right, that's the whole.
Right, Nilotic.
Yeah, that's different, yo.
You're right.
Yo, we come from a Nilotic people. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, listen, man. I ain't playing with nobody. Right?
All right. Hold it up. Hold it up again. Promotion time again. No, I ain't say hold the book up. I'm telling you to hold up. Brother La, for some reason, he want to see Brother Reggie versus Jabari. He think that, I'm going to tell you right now, in order for Reggie to take on Jabari, you need to spar with Unc first, man. You can't just go in the ring and think you're going to sit down with Jabari. Jabari going to run Reggie out the damn building.
Oh, that ain't true.
Yes, that is true. You know, Jabari
I'm not going to forgive you for that, sir.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give you. I don't care what you think about.
Let me start this over, Reggie. Hold on, Reggie. Hold on, man. Ain't no crybaby shit today, brother. It's the toughest environment to be in. You know that. But what I'm saying is, Jabari won't run Reggie out. That's just me trying to pump up something to get Reggie to say, you know, how to get him to jump out. But I would like to see Reggie and Unc first, though. And when Reggie smashed Unc, then I could go to Jabari and say, yo, Jabari, Reggie just whipped Unc ass.
Smash me, man.
When he smashed Unc.
Reggie gonna beat Unc.
No, not.
Reggie will beat Unc. I could definitely say that. But between Reggie and Jabari,
wrong though. That's not really wrong.
Who will win that one? Because those two are the top scholars right there.
And Reggie's smarter than all y'all. Hey, Reggie, they smarter than they think you are, yo. They don't know. They know you just sat and looked at documented libraries. Go ahead, bro. I'm giving you credit. I was giving you credit. They think you're a pushover.
Yeah. So I've already debated Jabari. I've debated Jabari for free. I have already debated him for free. Put it up for free. No cash apps, no donations, no nothing. For free. I just disagree with his placement of information. He's too spiritual. But he said something that the ancient Egyptian, the netters were real, but they were not literal, right? And then he's bordering on, well, they did not exist, but they existed in their minds, right? So they existed in history. I disagree with him, and you know what? It's two ways I can deal with it. publicly, I would have I was getting ready to debate until you threw it under the you threw it you messed up, Sa. Second of all, I would rather write something.
Oh no, how did I mess up, Reggie?
If I write, oh, that's
Reggie, how did I mess up?
You was taking his side.
Yep.
No, you was taking all that back, Reggie. You know that. Reggie, I'm not even gonna be the moderator.
It wasn't true.
I'm not even gonna be the moderator. I'm letting moderate.
I also have.
I'm gonna let Unc be the moderator, right, Unc?
Yep, I moderate that. But you can't get on nobody's side though, Sa, because that's way the crowd, yo.
You know, Nepal is the official moderator over here, man. And Nepal is always respectful to MC. He don't play and take no sides, none of that.
We saying before the debate, you start picking sides, and the crowd.
I wouldn't pick no sides when it comes to Reggie and Jabbar, because I love both of them brothers.
It becomes problematic, but my whole thing is the way I would really do it, right? I would do it academically and write it, right? Because there's no scholar that says he made it up. I will put it permanently. See, speech is transient, right? Writing is goddamn permanent, right? So there is nothing that he could get around with it, because it's no scholar says. First, you have to have a scholar that says what you say, unless it's completely novel. His is not even novel. It's not new what he's saying, but the people who are saying is Madame Blavatsky and those groups of people are saying what he's saying. But I don't want to get off of that. We'll come back to this later. Jamel, Saladin, it was a pleasure meeting you. The office open, and peace to all. Brother Ashe, my brother Elder Suntan, peace to y'all. I got a little work to do. All right?
All right. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to be close.
Peace, brother Reggie.
Hey, yo, I got to get up out of here too.
Peace.
So let me let Saladin close this thing out, and we out of here. Brother Saladin, see you next Sunday. Close us out, brother. Say what you got to say. Get it in.
All right, cool, man. If everybody could go check out my jazz album on just type in Jamel Saladin Funk and Love. And again, this is my first time up here. I'm elated. I got invited to a museum with Brother Reggie. I got into a little, intellectual punch in the face by Brother Unc, and I really appreciate this whole experience. So with that being said, I'm not gonna hold it. Oh, Ashe, thank you. The brothers, that's love right there. Brother Ashe stepped up, say, yo, check this out. You ain't gonna do this to my brother. So I'm looking at the comment section. This was the best welcome into the House of Consciousness that I even expected, man. So I really appreciate everybody. I appreciate this experience. Thank you for the elder brother Sultan to come up too, and sa.neter, man. Thank you for this experience, bro. And that's
all right. Thank you, brother. All right, y'all can see yourself out. Y'all can exit out.
I'll say it, pay for it later.
All right.
Who wants to smoke? Yeah. Who wants to smoke? Yeah. Temperatures going up, the heat is rising, scholars showing up, audience vibing. We on a mission, competition is the only desire. Whose information will be facing the mercy of fire? So step up, stand up, can you walk through hell? So tough, too tough for the weak, soft shell. Set the fire, fan the flame, smoke is rising in blooms. While the inexperienced today just dust the choke on the fumes. Bring your science, bring the wisdom, even bring your religion. If you can't stand the heat, then please don't come in the HOK. It's just a session, learn a lesson, fight and overcome oppression. Who'll be the best debated? By the time all the smoke clears, who wants to smoke?
Who wants to smoke? Let's get it.
Who wants to smoke?
I want to smoke. I want to
Who wants to smoke? Smoke session, smoke session. I want the smoke. This environment is the toughest, so bring your best in. Put your spirit to the test. You stepping into the ring with the scholar. With the no digits harder, I will make you holler. In the information flow with power. You wanted to peak, the elite, the undisputed. Now watch as your outdated theories get refuted. I'm posted in the den, let the world burn. Pressure in the room, it's finally my turn. They want the smoke, I'm the whole forest fire. Watch the oxygen vanish as the flames climb higher. My mind is the weapon, I'm no joke. I'm the baddest, I come for the smoke. No joke, I'm the baddest to ever breathe. I don't play house, I make them leave. Smoke session. Smoke, 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 smoke session. I want the smoke.
All my brothers that's trapped in religion, man, this is for you. This is for you. I gotta come on home, man.
Love where you at, where my people at. I'm at where you at, where my people at. I need you to help me on this mission. Yeah, this is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of the prison. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Sa.neter be the truth, you know he's on a mission. It's sad to see my brothers all so lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus, where your logic breaks apart in 1,000 pieces. Oh, God killer, not gonna let that slide. You drowning in a myth, you had nowhere to hide. The HOK is the toughest environment. While we trade blind faith for mental empowerment. I believe in scriptures for your mind, this is the key. It's time to unlearn everything you believe. The house of consciousness starts looking within. That's where the real liberation begins. Oh, this is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of that prison. This is for my brother trapped in religion. Sa.neter be the truth, you know he's on a mission. The HOK is more than just a place. It's a tough environment where you check your faith. Bomb squad and pseudo killers who check your sources. Don't come in front cause you will leave for losses. The Bible written to break your spirit, built to keep you low, feeding you metaphors, stopping your growth. These is for my brothers trapped in religion. Sa.neter be the truth, you know he's on a mission. It's sad to see my brothers all so lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus.